Hello, this is Angela Anderson. Thanks for joining me for this acrylic painting tutorial. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to paint this copper teapot with some flowers in it. It's part of our teapot series, this number 3 on it. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to painting this with you tonight. I've got my husband Mark with me.
Hey there, everybody.
He's going to be man in chat while I'm painting this. So if you've got questions, you can ask those and we'll try to answer. Let's get started. Alrighty, I'm going to be using a 12 by 12 inch canvas today. This is one that I had previously just used some leftover paint and painted it red. So this is kind of a cadmium medium, cadmium red light, something like that. Whoops, bright orangey red. So we're going to use that as our backdrop today. If you're new to our channel, welcome. We're glad to have you with us. I'll be painting this straight through from start to finish tonight. And showing you all the good, bad, and ugly as we go. And chatting about other things too.
I didn't know I was going to be on screen.
What?
I didn't know I was going to be on screen.
You're on screen?
Well, you said you're going to see the good, bad, and ugly, so I figured.
I fell right into that one.
Yes, you did. Oh, can I use my new sound effects?
Yes, do.
I don't know what this one is. Let's see.
Never mind. It's too late.
Come on. There it goes. Rim shot.
way late on
Oh,
it.
yeah,
You're
very
going to have
late.
to work on your timing.
I need a wah-wah.
Yeah. Yeah, you do. All right. Let's go over our colors.
This one. It's I didn't.
What?
I didn't have it turned on, the volume for it, so they didn't hear it.
Oh, okay.
All right, go ahead.
Carbon black, burnt umber, burnt sienna, yellow oxide, cadmium yellow medium, phthalo green blue shade, and this is the aqua green light, which is phthalo green blue shade plus white, so it's just pre-mixed, and it's built out all over everything. I thought I would use it for the background, but it's gotten into my phthalo blue green shade also, and my ultramarine blue, Dioxazine Purple, Quinacridone Magenta, Cadmium Red Medium, or I'm sorry, Cadmium Red Light, which is the closest to this background and color that I could find. I'm not sure that I'll use it anywhere else tonight, but, and then this is Unbleached Titanium, Titanium White, Zinc White, and some gloss glazing liquid. All right, if you don't have these exact colors, just use what you've got that's similar. It'll be fine. We'll show you how to mix some fun colors, but all right, let's get going here. So as far as brushes go, I'm going to be using, you're going to want some sort of a blender to do some of the shading on the teapot. And then for the flowers, I can either use like an angle brush or a Filbert brush. I've got a few different sizes of the angles, and I've got a flat for the teapot also. So, and I've got some other brushes that I may pull out if I need them as we get going here. I'm sorry, I need to clean off my hands. I've already got paint on them. You want to make sure when you're working that you keep your hands clean, because with acrylics, they'll stick to each other. So if I set my hand down here for long enough, that green paint would come off onto the canvas. It would stick to that paint. They're kind of sticky when they're dry. All right, can we go back to normal screen there, hon? All right, there we go. Let's get going here. I'm going to draw, so I'm going to grab just a chalk, or you can use a watercolor pencil or something water soluble to do your drawing. And I'm going to, I ought to also say welcome and please subscribe. I never seem to remember to ask people to subscribe if you haven't already. Come back and watch us. We've got our new July schedule just came out today, so I just scheduled it yesterday, and we're gonna be doing some fun stuff, some sailboats next week. So we try to do all kinds of different things. And for those of you who are coming back, thanks for going back. you're a glutton for punishment, obviously.
Yeah, we haven't scared them away yet.
Okay.
That hypnosis that we've been playing, it's been working. Go.
All right. My halfway mark is right here. So I'm going to come down about an inch from my halfway mark or so to have the kind of the top-ish part of my tea kettle and then our teapot, and then about the same, about an inch from the bottom here. And it'll go right in the third right here. So it'll kind of just fit in this middle section. You could always put it off center if you wanted to, you know, not have everything perfectly lined up in the middle. I know some people say you shouldn't do that, but I don't mind it. I kind of like it. I think if you've got enough going on in other places and moving the eye around, you're not going to just be stuck looking at something static in the middle. But that's just my opinion. Lots of opinions in art. You do you. I've kind of figured that out after a while. Just telling Mark that today. We were talking about wearing stuff. I'm like, I got myself some big flowy caftans for the summer to wear, and I've always wanted one, and I finally found a place that had them, and I ordered some, and there's nobody in Arkansas that wears that kind of stuff. Nobody. It's not like we're like, you know, Southern California or maybe the beaches of, you know, Hawaii or something where you'd see that kind of thing. But I just was reading in a book where the lady was like, I dress to please myself. And I was like, I'm going to start doing that. I think that's a good philosophy for a lot of things. I'm just going to dress however I like. If it makes me happy, I'm going to do it.
Exactly.
Who cares if I get a few weird looks? That's all right. All right. So here we go. Trying to just make sure that I've got this symmetrical. You can draw a straight line down the middle if you want and kind of measure each side. But I think we're getting it fairly close, hopefully. The black teapot that I did on my very first one in the series is crooked. So if you measure down here, it's not quite symmetrical, but that's all right. He's all right. We still like him. And this is the second one that we've done in the series. So we've got these two. And I just realized when I started, this is my favorite color scheme in flowers. And so we're kind of repeating it. I'm going to throw in a little bit of this orangey red. That's why I chose it for the background too. Plus I thought it would look good with the green because they're opposite on the color wheel. And so if we got some of it peeking through, it'll really amp up the vibrancy of our painting. You can totally leave it out if you don't like it. It's up to you. Again, you do you. Paint to please yourself. There you go. That should be our new logo slogan.
Oh, I like it. but this series is proof that coffee is better than tea because,
why?
I mean, you don't have a coffee pot series. I mean, there's got all these teapots laying around nobody's using. All the coffee
To
pots
put flowers in?
Yeah, the coffee pots are being used.
Is that so? Okay. It's only because teapots are so much prettier. All right. I'm going to go, I think I went a little low here. I'm going to start this up a little higher because it's not quite as low as I'm making it. And I think I'm bringing this up a little high here too. So I might bring this down just a little bit and bring my teapot arm up just a little bit because I want it to be above this. I want it to be kind of more up in here somewhere, kind of, let's see, kind of on a plane. Okay, let's split the difference. We'll do it right there. Okay, so there we go. And using chalk makes it easy just to kind of wipe off anything you don't want on there. I'm just going to erase that and do my lip out that way, like angled down just slightly. Do a little snicky. And a little bit wider right there. Okay, I think that'll do. And then I might go a little bit slimmer on this. Make it a little skinnier, but when we paint it, we can edit it out. And then we'll have flowers, 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 and more flowers. Somebody commented on TikTok because they saw me painting a tiger, and they're like, oh, you paint other things other than flowers. I'm like, only when I'm, no, only when I'm forced to. I like painting all kinds of stuff. Don't like painting portraits, not so much, but everything else I'm pretty open to it. Been playing with Photoshop recently. All right, and taking photos that I've taken and mashing them up together. So we got a few coming up that are mashups. Be fun.
I have
the mailbox that we took off the side of the road and across from a wall, McDonald's.
Who stopped at.
Like, hey, go over there afterwards. I want to get a picture. Mark's known, he's been married to me long enough now. He doesn't even question anymore. He's like, okay.
That's right.
He just does it.
Let's just do it.
She's got something in her brain. All right. I'm going to grab this green. I'm adding the white to it. This light. So phthalo green by itself, if I just used this dark phthalo green, it would turn out almost black over the top of this red. So you have to add a little bit of white to it, and the white will also make it more opaque and cover up this red. But I don't want to cover it totally, so I do want to leave just like little bits of it peeking through here and there around, especially kind of around my teapot, like my edges. I kind of want to blur out my edges and have just a little bit of this really pretty red peeking through. It's also going to be peeking through on the color of our copper teapot. That's why I also chose it, because I thought that it would look good with our teapot colors. Get some of the lighter color here, and I'm just going to quickly just paint around my teapot here. Doesn't have to be super clean. Again, I'm going to keep it fairly loose style like the other two that we did in this series already. So adding a little bit of white. The light green that's pre-mixed just kind of gives us a head start. It's not, we don't have to use it straight. We can mix our own. It just gives us a little bit of a starting point. Since I'm painting these live, I like to have some pre-mixed colors that are close to what I'm going to be using sometimes.
Was that Cad Red Light?
This one is actually called Cad Red Medium in the Matisse color, but it's not Cad Red Medium in the golden. The golden color is a lot darker, a lot more red. So it's this color, which is kind of a cross between these two golden colors, the medium and light, but I figure it's closer to the light. To me, it's got a little bit more of that orange tone, so that's why I chose that. And I just dropped it. Oh well, we'll get it later. Try not to run over it with my chair. So
I'm getting Christmas vibes right now.
What?
Said I'm getting Christmas vibes.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to get some burnt sienna and add it to this phthalo green. That'll make a dark color, and I'm just going to use it. I'm going to get it. Thank you, honey. Just going to do this while it's wet. Here, just blend it in there. Okay, looks good. Let's use a little bit of this in the corner, so kind of right where that arm is coming up. There's a little bit of darker green right here. And on this side, it's not as dark. I'm going to get my T-square. It's actually kind of angled in the photo, so it kind of goes like this. So I'm just going to get T-square so I have a line there. I could have used my chalk. I just forgot to mark it out with my chalk when I was drawing it. And I don't know if you can see this, but this is how I'm doing it right in here. See how there's just little bits of that red peeking through. And I'm going to leave it peeking through in other places too as I paint. It just gives it a little bit of unexpected color. You probably won't even notice it unless you pointed it out, but it will add a little bit of pop of vibrancy to our color and composition. Okay. Oops. Get some dark burnt umber here. I need to let this just dry because it's not one to add any more color right now. It's still kind of wet. Right there. Okay. Keep on going here. Just pull up all that color. And I kind of put these flowers in so I just have a kind of a general idea where they're going to go, but I'm pretty much going to paint around behind them and in between. How you doing, hun?
I was just going to ask you that. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. Good.
Yeah?
Yep. Had a great couple of days. Wow, our weather decided to play nice with us.
Mm-hmm.
We've had some string of horribly hot days this summer, and all of a sudden it's like in the 70s the last couple of days.
Yeah, the humidity has dropped off tremendously. So.
Yeah, we've been spent the whole day outside. It was really great. Mark has been able to work from home on Tuesdays.
Yeah, so I don't have to rush home.
Real blessing. There's been a few times when we've cut it close.
Yeah.
He's been walking in the door and we've been starting a few minutes later, so that will give us a little bit of breathing room. And hopefully soon he'll be working for me full time, so give it a couple of years. We'll see.
I like that plan.
I do too. I think it'd be fun. Scary but fun. I think we got through. We had a trial run of 6 months of him working at home with me during COVID, and we didn't kill each other, so I think we will survive.
It'll be super easy.
Yeah. We're gonna put these shadows on the wall here. Get a little bit of this lighter color for right in here. This side is not as dark as the other side. Lighten that up a little bit. Okay, that looks good. And I've just put it on really choppy and kind of free form so that I don't really have to blend anything out. It's just all kind of very expressive. It's a good way to get out your aggression. Just get out there and slap that paint around on the canvas. Adding some lighter highlights to the front side here. Just kind of dry brushing them. Looks good. These are still wet, so I need to kind of leave it alone. Okay, so let's go ahead and clean that out. I've grabbed I didn't mention my brush. This is the 10 Bright in the Princeton 6100 series. All right, let's go ahead and kind of start filling in our teapot itself, and that is going to be burnt sienna and burnt umber. I'm gonna leave some of this red peeking through, this copper. Got a lot of red in it. And then on this side, I'm going to go dark right up along this edge, but then the middle part I'm going to leave a little bit lighter, so I'm just going to kind of lightly skim across this area right here. Leave that red shining through. So it's a little bit more transparent right there. And then I'm going to get some yellow, yellow oxide, or you could use Indian yellow hue if you don't have yellow oxide, or yellow ochre, or one of those colors. Add some yellow. Burnt umber. Nice and dark up here where the flowers are coming out. And down here too. So that is a little bit wet still, and it's trying to dry. So if I try to paint wet paint over that area where it's drying, it'll kind of lift. So I have to leave that alone for a minute until it dries completely, and then I can go back to it. There's also some green in here, so I'm going to grab some of the green, add some of that to it. I say I need to leave it alone, and then I paint over it. Here. I'm going to add a little bit of that while I'm thinking about it. Looks good. It's going to look worse before it looks better, so trust me, it's getting there. Let's go ahead and add the bottom section here with the more yellow color. It's catching a little bit more light because it's facing up. And I'm gonna clean that out. I'm gonna switch to the little bit smaller brush here that I've got. Let's see, actually. Yeah, I'll use this one. I think I can get in here with it. This is the 6 flat. So just a flat edge brush here. And get my 2 colors. I'm gonna add a little bit of the yellow oxide. Maybe a little bit of the green. So I've got a kind of a darker and a lighter color to work with here. Make sure your background is pretty much done before you do this part, otherwise you're just gonna have to be fighting it and painting over parts of it. So it's a little bit long, but I'm gonna get a little bit of black. Add that to that area right there. A little bit of that dark color, And this is going to be covered by flowers, so I can't really see it. I'm probably not getting the shape quite right. Just paint it over green. Alright, so this is dry enough. Now I can add some brown black. Just gonna kind of come around here and try to get that form set. Just get my shapes kind of right. My drawing right. Looks pretty good. Get some of the dark. Come up under here and go under that where the dark shadow hits. Okay, looks good. And then there we go. All right, I'm going to get the yellow and a little bit of the burnt sienna, or I'm sorry, unbleached titanium, and a little bit of the red, kind of a yellowish red tone. This line here and this one should kind of match. The angles should kind of be similar. And I'm kind of making a flat area right here where it's dented. It goes a lot darker over here, so I'm not going to worry about that part. I'm going to go ahead and try to get this highlight nailed down here. Go ahead and finish this arm that I started. Some of the darker color. Having the darker on both opposite sides here will help make this arm look round. This middle part will push the middle part out towards us and make it look rounded. Getting a little bit of black here. Okay. A little bit more of the black. Burnt umber. Losing my voice. And this part is pretty dark on this side. So I'm just doing this whole arm with this dark burnt umber black mixture. And I don't know where it attaches there, so I'm just gonna kind of fake an arm there. Let's get a little bit of the highlight color. Put a little bit of it right in the middle. That pulls that forward. There we go. And again, the titanium white, a little bit of the unbleached titanium. I'm just going to tap along that edge there to add that bright seam. Get a little bit of it here and add a little part where that's attached. And I'm going to get a little bit of the lighter, kind of more yellow, and add some highlights along here. Just a few places. Get some of the lighter green, add it. Now that was probably too much, so I'm gonna get some burnt sienna or some glaze and just kind of take that down. Wipe out my brush. So if I put too much paint down, I can either like just wipe it off completely, or I can kind of just get a little bit of water in a clean brush and just kind of adjust the amount that's on there. So I want that green to be on there. I just don't want as much as what ended up there. So I'm going to get the burnt sienna. Use it to kind of adjust the amount of color too. And this teapot has seen better days. It's pretty beat up, so just kind of playing with the patina on it. Adding some different interesting colors and highlights and things. But, I mean, that green seemed weird when we first put it on there, but you can kind of see where it's sort of just disappearing into it now. I'm going to get a little bit more of this dark burnt umber and black and use it on this side. Really darken that side up all the way up to that green there. And then get that burnt sienna and just kind of blend out that edge there a little bit into what we've got already there. So now we've got a nice dark edge over here. I'm gonna darken up here again. It's amazing. A little bit of paint in the right place. And a little bit of the highlight color. The unbleached titanium there. And then getting my burnt umber, burnt sienna mixture. I'm just going to kind of go over that. I got a little too much right there. Alright, and then let me clean up the front edge of the arm here. I kind of have a little bit of too much of that background showing. And just put it on and then blend it out into what's there so that it looks like we meant to do that. Okay. That's about all I'm going to do with the teapot for now, I think. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm going to do one more thing down here. I'm going to get the zinc white. This is the reason why I put the zinc white out. I saw this highlight and I thought the zinc white would do well for it. This brush is a little bit thick for this area, so I'm just going to try to get it in here the best I can. But it's good for where you don't want to cover up completely, but you want to kind of add almost kind of like cloudy, like on metals. It works really good for kind of like tarnished metals, if that's a thing, or metals that are not super shiny like this is. This Zinc White kind of has that translucent quality. It isn't too shiny. So I can use it in a few places here. Okay, that looks pretty good.
Yes, it does.
Thanks. The painting looks okay too.
Yes.
I was waiting.
I mean, you looked over at me and, you know.
All right. Before we get comments about us flirting.
I forgot to do the drum thing when you said, and the painting looks good too. Okay, there it goes. It went through that time.
All right, so I've mixed up a bright green here. It's a little bit different tone from the background, using that phthalo green and the cadmium red, yellow medium. If you have another green that you want to use, totally fine. If you don't have this green, just add a little bit more yellow. The phthalo green blue shade and the phthalo green yellow shade are very similar. They're just, one's got a little bit more of a yellow undertone. You can see it's closer to what we've mixed up here, the yellow tone, but then the blue shade is closer to what's in the background. Well, it is the background color. Straight up is the background color. We really didn't do a whole lot to it. And I'm adding a little bit of white here. I've got a yellowish green, and then I've got the darker. The darker I added a little bit of burnt umber to it to darken it up. You can also add purple if you want to. I might still do that. I might have some areas that have a little bit of purple in them. I like adding purple to green. It's a pretty color combo. But in this case, this green is so close to blue, it almost turns it to a blue instead of a green. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and I don't think I'm going to worry about where my flowers are for right now. I'm just going to put this green in. I think I liked it better without the purple. With just the burnt umber here. Just need some dark areas. Don't be shy of really going dark when you're adding your greenery. The bright areas are what make the painting have depth. So if you don't have these really dark and light areas, you won't have contrast. So I'm just gonna use the edge of my brush here. This is the same brush I've been using. As I come up here, I'm going to use a little bit more of the yellow in my green. But again, I think I'm just going to kind of cover most of this up and leave just a little bit of this red peeking through here in a couple places. And press my brush flat and do some stems. My flowers coming out. These are coming a little bit thick. My paint's kind of thick, so I can add a little bit of water and really press that brush flat so I can get some straighter lines. Kind of map out where my tall ones are going to go. And then get some of that brighter yellow green and start adding in my bright pops of color, brighter leaves. And if you add white to it, see how it kind of dulls that color of the green? So then I can add yellow and it'll brighten it back up. Now we've got a nice Nice bright green. You don't want at least 3 shades of green, light, medium, dark, to give it the best impact. And I'm literally just tapping my brush and swiping it in different directions to get these leaf shapes. Don't be too caught up in any one leaf shape. Don't spend too much time on it. Just kind of dab them on there. And then I'm going to use the corner of this brush to do the little tips on these, this white stalk at the tip, top here. Flowers are called stalk. Or they might be snapdragons, actually, now that I'm looking at them. Oh yeah, I haven't showed my flowers. Speaking of snapdragons, look at all the flowers blooming in our garden. My dahlias finally started blooming, and I've got some really beautiful snapdragons that I started from seed, and my poppies from seed, zinnias from seed. Got 3 different varieties of zinnia here. Where's my lime green one? There's the lime green one. Isn't that fun? Mm-hmm. These are called Queen Lime. This one's a Queen Lime Red. They have like a really dusky color. And then my cone flowers of different colors there that I bought. I cheated. But the larkspur is also from seed. So these all came up from seed. Let me see. Where's my other one? Right there. I've got a pink larkspur down and tucked in there. But anyhow, really fun. I took pictures of this, so we'll be doing it hopefully in an upcoming video. Never fear. We got lots of flowers in our future. Oops, I left some petals on the...
Do you paint flowers?
I paint other things, not just flowers.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
okay.
I do paint flowers.
All right, good.
I like to. Flowers are like one of my favorite things to paint, I think. Because they're one of my favorite things. I feel like God knew we were going to need flowers. It's just like they're going to need some cheering up. Here we go. Life's hard, so he gave us flowers. It's a theory.
And chocolate.
Exactly. Which is also a plant.
And coffee.
Exactly. And tea. See?
Well.
We're on a roll. What else can we name off? Cucumbers. We got cucumbers in the garden.
Yeah, you got a bunch of cucumbers.
Cucumbers, zucchini, squash. All right, I'm going to use the corner of my brush. This is dry now, and I'm just going to dab on these like rusty spots that I'm seeing, these kind of water spots or patinaed areas. And then you can use a damp paper towel and just kind of dab off before they dry all the way. What? Nope. There we go. Just to kind of soften them up. I could have put them on a little bit more fluid. This would work better if I'd done that, but okay. There we go. Fun, yeah. I think I want to bring this corner up. I feel like it's too low right here. That edge right there. So I'm going to just get let me see, get a brush so I can get into that corner there. And I'm going to bring that up just a little bit. So I'm going to take my burnt umber and burnt sienna, and I'm going to tuck it up there and change that angle right there a little bit better. It should look like it's kind of curving around, not straight, flat right there. I'm doing the same thing here. I'm going to put a flower there, so I'm not going to worry about it right there, but let me get a little bit of this burnt sienna, yellow oxide mixture here. I'm going to make my dent a little bit bigger. Why not? Okay. And then right here I want to do a nice sharp shadow right there where it curves, and then make sure I've got a good shadow on these sections of the arm. I made this arm a little thick, but it's okay. All right, let's go back to this brush. I'm actually liking this one, so I think I'm gonna continue with it to start my flowers. And we'll grab the Ultramarine Blue, a little bit of purple, and some white. That'll make a lovely dark blue. And I'm going to start putting in my flowers here. And if you can't see them, add a little bit more water, or white to it, I mean, not water. Add a little bit more white. I'm going to add a little white to the centers of these. Get a little bit more purple this time, maybe a little bit of the magenta too. And I'm just doing my petals using the flat blade of the brush. So I'm just setting it down for the kind of middle petal and then sweeping it to the side for the two outside ones. These are facing away from us, and then the fourth one kind of swooping it in. And really depends on kind of how they're facing us. If they're facing us more, we'd see more of all four petals. Just doing kind of different colors on some of these too. I'm going to try to cover up this big thing here that I placed in there. Okay, that's looking good. Let's get a little bit more of the white. Add that to the centers of these. While they're wet, it'll kind of softly blend. And let's go ahead and get some white and a little bit of this purple, or a little bit of the green, and add it. I still have that purple on my brush, so I'm just going to use that for the snapdragons. The snapdragons have kind of the two, may still have a little too much purple in there, we'll see. They kind of go out like that, and then they have like a tongue that comes down. Okay, just suggesting. We're not having to paint all the little details. Check out the shape. Look at the main. Usually your flowers and things will have really simple, if you break it down into shapes, they'll have really simple shapes that they are. I think when people get caught up and say they can't paint flowers, maybe they're looking at it as a whole and they're not seeing each individual little shape that is making up the whole. Because if you're just painting a little dot or a little square, it's just how they kind of fit together that creates the illusion of the flower. So kind of try to think of it that way maybe. I don't know if that'll help, but kind of helps me when I'm painting something that's a little bit tricky to look at the individual shapes that I'm seeing and not looking at it as a whole. Just looking at this little shape, and then inside that shape, what is the shape around it, and that kind of thing can help. I'm going to do another one right here. Okay, looks good. I'm going to get some of this green, if I can get any. I'll spray my palette and see if I can reactivate any of these. There we go. Get some of this lime green yellow with this white, and my ranunculus is ranunculus, I'm not sure how to say it, right in here. So I'm going to kind of start it with this color and do kind of the middle part of it so I've got room to make it bigger.
That is pronounced redonkulous.
The proper pronunciation, redonkulous.
Yes.
Use it in a sentence.
Those flowers look redonkulous.
Now, spell it. The ultimate test. Can he spell it?
R-E-A. Can I have its origin, please?
Massachusetts. That's where you're born, right? Can you say it in a New England accent for me, please?
Thankfully, no.
All right, cleaning my hands off here. Cleaning hand, clean and break. This is also going to give it time to let this dry a little bit.
While you do that.
Ooh, yeah, Patreon. I'll show you what we painted on Saturday last week. It wasn't this last Saturday, but the Saturday before. We did our bonus video for the $5 members of our Patreon crew. They also get traceables, which the $2 level members just get traceables. And then the $5 level members get extra bonus videos that we don't do on YouTube. But yeah, this is the one we did for them on a couple weeks ago. Once a month, we'll do one. And then our $10 level members on Patreon are getting their own Thursday shows. So we do all kinds of different fun projects. And this month we are finishing up this one. It's called Waterfall Cottage Garden. And it's going to have some railings and some stairs here and lots more flowers. Lots and lots. This may be the most colorful garden I've done. We'll see. But I was drawn to, obviously, all the fun flowers and colors.
Yeah, we're super excited for all the supporters on Patreon.
Yes.
But we feel like we need to have a disclaimer that right now, today, it's the 28th of June.
Yes.
And so we don't want you to be signing up today unless you really, really want to.
Right. Because you'll
Because-
only get like 3 days worth of access. And
Exactly right.
get charged again because
They bill on the 1st.
Right, they bill on the 1st for the current month. So they charge you for the full month of access no matter what day you sign on.
Correct. So you sign up today, you pay for June,
Right.
and then in 2 or 3 days, you'll pay for July.
Exactly.
So just hold off.
Right, if you want a full month of access, then. But if you want to binge watch them tonight, go for it. I'm not going to say not to.
And to those of you in the future, and to those of you in the future,
right,
check your calendar.
Exactly.
Carry the one. No, but again, no, seriously, we really appreciate everybody supporting the channel.
Yep, it paid for Mark's fancy new
soundboard
that he's been playing with today. We needed one. Our mics, we were slowly moving from, we had like, I don't know how many options did we have on the other soundboard.
Well, we had
options for like 6 mics or something.
4 mics.
And we slowly had.
They were wearing out.
They were wearing out one by one, and you just kept moving them over to different inputs. So we were down to our last couple spots, and we were like, it's time for a new one. So we got a nice fancy one.
Yep. And hopefully it will last us a long, long time.
Yes. So hopefully our sound quality, I don't know if anybody can tell a difference, but...
So it is better. I've had to make some adjustments.
Have you?
Yeah, the sound gate was doing some wacky things, so
Okay.
I turned it off again, so it's...
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, I'm going to clean off my palette here. I'm ready to finish up, but I definitely think I'm going to add some of this. I really like this color popping through where I'm seeing it. So I'm trying to think of what flower I want to do there. Because I think I'm going to I might just add dots, honestly. I may just leave it at that and just kind of add some like little, almost like status or baby's breath type small flowers, even though they're not red. I'm sure there's so many flowers out there. And it's amazing how your brain works, because if you give it the right setting like this and you start doing dots, your brain's gonna interpret them as flowers, because why wouldn't they be flowers? You got all these other flower shapes. So you get the right general shape in there, and your brain fills in the rest for you. Don't actually have to. That's why Impressionist art works, because your brain does a lot of the interpreting of what you're painting. You don't have to literally put in all the detail every time. Get the colors right, get the shapes right, or at least the values. You can even mess with the colors, but if you do your darks in the right place and the lights in the right place, and you have your shapes generally right, and your dark and light values helping create the form of your object, then it suddenly appears. It's amazing. All right. So I'm trying to think what I want to do here. I'm trying to leave myself room here, but I also don't want to. See, it's been an hour. Okay, we're making good time. I'm making a ultramarine blue and purple here, and I'm gonna grab a little bit of the magenta too to have it over to the side here, and some white, and I'm gonna get some of the magenta and white and have kind of a light pink. Okay. My ranunculus could be, I had the ranunculus that was kind of that coral color. Or not ranunculus, the anemone, remember, in your garden. I don't know if I have any pictures of it. I probably don't. Have it handy. No, it was earlier this spring. It would have been on my other phone. So it would be in here. Let me give it to you and you can look through while I'm doing this. Okay. Look for... What happened?
And you assume I know what that looks like.
It's this purple one. It's got the dark center.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it was like a pink or a
That one?
coral. Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, see if there's another one. There was another one I'm thinking of.
Okay.
If I got pictures of it. And these are 5-petal flowers, not just 4 petals, so. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of right there. Okay. That would probably work. It's a little bit pink, but we could make it a little bit more red because they were kind of reddish. Some of them, at least. Thank you, hon.
That one that's really white.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty. Oh, yeah, that's a pretty one with the pink and the red in the center. Okay, I'll leave those both out. So those were from our garden from earlier this year.
Something I took a picture of may actually make it onto a painting. I'm so
I'm
excited.
so excited. Is it happening? It's happening. It's happening. Okay. Getting some of that darker. I'm kind of making a muddy mess here. If you mix too many colors on your brush, you don't get anything, so I'm kind of trying to... Yeah, exactly. Well, these are mixing okay, but I'm ending up with... I'm not having any value shift here. They're all kind of going from one to the other without cleaning out my brush, so... Alright, that looks alright. If you want, you can use a Filbert too, so you get more of a rounded shape, or you can just go back in and kind of round out those shapes a little bit. Okay. Almost done here. There we go. Almost done with those flowers, I mean. Not totally done. Gonna add lots of other fun stuff. Okay, that's looking good. I could do some... Just trying to think of what colors to use here. Let's mix this up and see if we like it. So we're gonna mix up the magenta and the cadmium red light here. A little bit of white. And I might just do the same kind of flowers was in the other one there. Or maybe like those ones. Maybe that would kind of tie them together. Just put, let's try one and see if we like it. We can always take it out. I don't hate it. We'll try another one. I'm going to do them small so they're not so noticeable. They've got a lot of impact because of the color, so don't need to overdo them. Okay, that looks good. I think that's enough. I don't think I want to do any more than that. I'm just gonna kind of do just a little nod to that color. Plus it's down here in the teapot. I like it. Okay. And then it ties in with the other one. It'll have the same colors as the third one. We're making a nice little set of coordinating paintings. So making a light blue with my white with the light ultramarine blue. I'm just gonna kind of dry brush it in the centers of these flowers coming out. I really need to change my brush. Using very little paint on my brush, just kind of light touch there to add those kind of lighter centers to those flowers. And then let's grab my angle brush now. I'm going to grab this one. This is the 3/8 inch angle. Actually, no, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to use this 2 round here because I'm going to do the ranunculus, and I need I need thin brush strokes for this one. Some white. We've already got this green down, so I'm just going to use it right from starting in the center and just do thin white lines coming out. Alright, leaving that dark green in there. And just making sure my outer petals gonna make a nice rounded shape. They're similar to roses, but the centers are they're much more tightly packed. So use very small brush strokes in the center, and then as they come out from the center, I'm going to kind of go a little bit bigger. But the petals are not very big, and they're really tightly packed, so. And then wherever I want more impact, I'm going to kind of go in fairly thick with the paint. Still trying not to press down too hard. I'm going to get that red from before. I'm going to finish off these petals here. This one's kind of tucked in underneath this flower here, so I'm going to leave it kind of half showing. Just highlighting. Okay, and then I'm going to get a little bit of the yellow and that cadmium, or the yellow oxide and the cadmium yellow medium, and tap in. Might go a little bit more muted with this yellow on these ones. We'll see. I'm going to start there and might go a little bit brighter, but maybe add a little bit of white to it to tone it down. So it's a little softer yellow, not so bright. Here we go. Yeah, that's pretty. Pretty. Okay, let's do this ranunculus down here. This one is kind of facing away from us. It's a little bit different. So we're seeing the sides of the petals, so I'm going to kind of pull back with it. And the center part has just make it green here. Make sure this goes to it, and then it's got kind of a little thickened area where the flower's attached to the back of it. There's a couple little leaves that come out. That is not what I wanted there. Something kind of like that. I don't know. And I'm going to get a little bit of the white and add it to this yellow color and add it there. Okay. And then there's a big flower that's going to go right here. So I'm going to put some of this yellow white in the center of, maybe get some of that color that was there, add it to the center of these, just a little bit. And make sure that I've got a nice dark center on the flowers. So get some burnt umber and some green here. And then just make sure I've got a nice dark center on those. All right. Going back to this brush here. The 6 flat. I'm going to get the Phthalo blue. And some of the magenta, a little bit of white. I'm just trying to make a different purple than what we've already mixed. All right, I'm going to go right in here, and I'm going to make this large anemone. And grab the white. the center. And we'll have to let that dry. Let me create a violet color with the magenta and the purple here. I'm trying to bridge the gap between these two colors here, so I have kind of a middle tone color. And we'll just let's do the larkspur with this color. Yeah, that's pretty. Or maybe butterfly bush. We've got some of this butterfly bush that's growing that's this color. It's really pretty. See spiky flowers like this. All right, I like that. Let's get some white so we have a lighter tone to it. And find the centers of some of these darker clusters and add a little bit of white bit to them. I like it. I don't love the ranunculus yet. I think they need something, but I'm gonna let them marinate for a minute. And I'm gonna add a few more leaves. Gonna get the unbleached titanium, add it to the yellow and the green there, and we'll add some leaves with this. Anemone leaves are very like fluted. They've got all kinds of, they're large. See them there. We have these spikes that come out. Okay. There was another one here, but I think I'm just going to do one large one here in this kind of darker, deeper blue. And we'll do some greenery. Connect this to the rest of the plants here. Okay. Let's get this smaller on here. Let's go ahead and kind of work on these a little bit. So I'm going to get this magenta color and my white, a little bit more of the brighter magenta there. Little glaze. Even make a light pink. I'm just going to add it to some of these. Looking a little bit haphazard right now, but what I can do is go back over it with the darker blue here once we're kind of done and shore up the shapes a little bit better. In fact, I'm going to get a little bit smaller Filbert. This is a 4 Filbert. So I was using a 6 to paint them before. So I'm going to get this, get the purple and the ultramarine blue, and I need more white. How you doing? Any questions or anything about what we're doing?
There are several questions, and I'm
Save them for the end.
I am.
Okay. Are they about what we're doing here, or just about general questions?
They're general questions.
Okay. We'll save it for the end.
But I have asked the question, when's the best time to go to Hawaii? So, so that's being answered right now, Jet. But a pro tip from one of our fans, Shannon, she says that we have to make sure that we pre-cook everything before we go.
Really? Why?
Well, then she corrected herself and said pre-book. So
That makes more sense.
yeah, but I mean that's a travel tip you don't usually get anywhere. Pre-cook everything. But we do want to say thank you to Michael.
Yes. Thank you, Michael. I got our books. We got some books from Michael in Hawaii. A really lovely letter. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to cooking. It's a Monet cookbook and then a book about him. He was very cool. One of my favorite artists, so looking forward to looking through it. Thank you, Michael. And to everybody who sends us stuff, it's really sweet. All right, so I'm just kind of going back over and sort of adding shadows where I need shadows, adding highlights where I need some highlights, just to give these depth, a little bit of more definition here. I think I do want to do the blue delphinium because it's kind of a different color, maybe a baby blue with these two, with the teal and the ultramarine blue. So I have a really pretty like baby blue delphinium. Yeah, that'll be pretty. They kind of grow along a stalk. A lot of spiky flowers in this one, but that's okay. Okay. Get some black and purple. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to finish this one here. So I'm going to get my ultramarine blue. Or actually, that was the phthalo blue. So I'm going to get this color that I did before and just add some white and a little bit of the magenta to it to have kind of a softer softer purple. I'm getting some of the Dioxazine Purple here. I'm going to add some of that. Okay. I'm just going to form out some of the petals coming out of the center. So when I do my center, I've got kind of those petals making a statement there, and I'm going to get my black and purple mixture. I'm going to get this smaller brush here. And dab that in the center, and then use the tip to kind of draw out little lines and dot. I'm going to use a little bit of white with this to define the center just a little bit. Go. All right, then these ones here have a greenish, light green spike coming out from them. So I'm just going to get some of this light green and do that. And then get the magenta and do little spikes at the tip with magenta. I'm not loving these. I think I'm putting these out too far. Okay, there we go. Use some of my yellow and my ranunculus. And my snapdragons. Add a little. And then I'm going to add a little to the centers of these flowers to brighten them up a little bit. Maybe a little too much, we'll see. Turned out to be more solid than I intended. How are we doing? Are we hanging in there?
Yes, we are.
Good.
How are you doing?
Good. Just get going here, and I forget anybody's watching.
There's some greenery down there in the bottom left.
A what?
Greenery that you haven't covered up yet.
Right here?
In the bottom left, yeah. You could cover that up too, yeah. Need a few more flowers.
That's not helpful.
Too soon?
Yeah. Okay. This kind of going in with this brush and kind of defining some things here. A little bit more. My brush strokes are a little bit not messy, but yeah, kind of messy. So just kind of see if there's any places where I need to kind of add a little detail. The delphinium can have some lines, the darker ultramarine blue bits coming out of it. I'm gonna get some darker green, add that to the magenta, and just dab it on the centers of these flowers that are here, that light green where they attach to the center of the flower. Just a little bit of dark. Help just make them a little bit more stable. And then get some magenta in my white and just a little bit of purple and like a lot of white. So I want to have a nice brighter version of this. I think I'm going to make it into kind of a butterfly bush. I want some smaller textures. So I've got a lot of the same texture, so this will add a different texture that's a smaller texture to our painting. We had a lot that were kind of all approaching the same size, and it's looking a little bit dull. So this will just kind of break it up a little bit, give us a little bit different textures there. I still kind of want a little bit of this pink coming out of the center of some of these. That one didn't turn out to be nearly as interesting as I was hoping it would be. It's kind of dark. It's kind of hidden back there, under there. I'm trying to think if I want to change that color. What do you think?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
It's,
I'm going to go a little bit darker on my shadow here, so I'm going to get my glaze and my black and my green from the background. The glaze will help make this transparent. I'm just going to start where this is, going to pull it out and try to just pull some transparent color out. Make a shadow. go. I don't know if that works. I'm just not sure I love that color there. I feel like I want to change it a little bit. Might get a little bit of this red and a little bit of white. Just do the light orange. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Just need a little bit more of a color change. And it can help also if you're kind of stuck and you're like, something doesn't look right, I'm not really sure what it is. It can help if you stop and kind of take a picture of your painting and then look at it in black and white. Because sometimes all you need to do is just change your values. You know, if you've got everything that's, all kind of similar colors, sometimes just changing your values can help. And I think I'm going to work on the ranunculus a little bit and try to get the shapes a little bit better for that. I'm going to get a little bit of the unbleached titanium too and add it to this white. And I'm going to do my outer petals a little bit bigger. Widen it out just a little bit. I've switched to my angle brush here. Yeah, that's better. So it's a little bit bigger. Is he dreaming? He wants in. Oh. Hovers outside. We left him out. Was he? Oh. Resorting to whining.
Very subtle noises. Hi.
The tail banging into everything. Bing, bang, bing, bing. Hi, puppers. Mama's painting. He's gotten to where if we sit outside on the chairs, he expects us to have a chair ready for him. He either wants to sit on one of our laps or he wants his own chair. And he sits up in it just like a person. I put a picture of him in my newsletter. He's also on my Instagram page if you want to see my dog. And on TikTok. He might as well have his own page, really.
Hey, real quick, somebody asked just now, do you mean values should be different from one another?
Values, yes.
Okay. I don't.
Yes, you should have dark and light areas in your painting. So they shouldn't all be kind of the same value where they're all light or all dark or whatever. So that flower probably will turn out to be really, really dark if I took it in black and white. So to fix it, I can try to go in with a little bit of white around it. At this point, it's kind of hard to mess with it because it's already kind of got the center in, so I'll have to repaint the whole thing. But I don't mind that. I may have to have you open that up for me so I can see that picture. Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a more pinkish one. I'm going to use this pink here. And just add it and do a very pale pinkish white. Let me see. Yeah, let's do that. And I'm just going to leave that darker color on there and just paint this over the top so it kind of skims it. Okay, that worked. I'm going to get the black and I'm going to go over it and add some bigger. I'm just going to widen out that center area there a little bit and then get that black and make sure I've got a nice dark center. Okay, that worked. Better. Okay. Go ahead and zoom out so I can see the whole thing. Thank you. Just trying to think if I want to do something out here, if I kind of like the shape that I've got. I'm looking at the overall outside shape of it, and also where my eye's being led around. So I've got white that's kind of here balancing out. I've got some good pinks. I think color-wise we're good. And kind of this delphinium blue kind of helped balance out the difference between the green and the blues. And I like the purple flower a lot better, or the pink flower I should say, a lot better. And I can go in what?
Someone asked, what about some vines?
Yeah, let's do some vines. That's a good idea. And I can kind of add some shading here with the magenta to that flower. Yeah, let's do some sticks. Some brown sticks, because that'll pull this brown up here. Good idea. Yeah, that'll be good. All right, I'm just gonna use this round brush and mix up the color that we used for our pot, and then maybe add a little bit of unbleached titanium to the brush, so I've got like a little bit of both on here when I do this. I'm just gonna well, do we like that? It may be too branchy, maybe too much branchiness. Let's do it a little bit bolder and just do kind of a straighter edge. I might have the wrong brush for this. That's a little bit better. Maybe a little bit thicker and more gnarly. When you're doing branches, you need to make sure that that's too thick. You need to make sure that you're and you can also, what I would probably do at this point, take a photograph of it and use your phone or your tablet to sketch on. Just get most phones will have a photo editing program that's built into them, and you can draw in different things, using different colors and try different things. That's usually what I do when I'm not sure what I want to add to something. That's not bad. I don't mind that. I think that works. And maybe coming out here. I think what I don't like is my brush. I think it's the brush that's causing the problem. Let me switch to this angle brush. And we can add like buds, almost like maybe something's starting to grow in there, but or it's. Do we like that? I don't know if we like that. I don't know. You got to get it off there fast if you don't like it, because otherwise, well, see there, the stick's there still. We got the buds off, but we didn't get the stick off. It's fine. We can paint it back in. We're stuck with it now. It's fine. I mean, I don't mind it. I didn't mind the stick. I just wanted to do something else with it. I'm not really sure what, so let's do a little bit up here. Sometimes not overthinking it. I think I'm just overthinking it. I think I just need to throw it on there and hope we're... And this probably should have been done first. That's probably part of the problem. Really should have been done long before we did anything else. I don't like this one. I'm taking it out. I'm just going to grab some of that background color and paint over it. It's got a little bit of burnt umber on there, but it's all right. Really, at this point, we can stop it anywhere you're happy with yours. So, you know, I'm fiddling at this point. I'm just trying to kind of add a few little extra things, but I can take questions while I'm finishing this up if you want. If we have some that I can do while I'm finishing this.
Okay. Try my mic on. Here we go. The first question is oxide and ochre about the same?
Yes.
1 for 1. They would like to know, did you study color theory, either online or in person, and can you suggest some kind of class? It says that your color choices seem amazing.
Oh, thank you. I did some in college, you know, just kind of basic color theory. But I didn't, you know, I mean, I pretty much self-taught after that. There are some books, the Confident Color one, and yeah, that's the one. This one is in my Amazon list, I think. It's got some interesting things. Oh, this isn't the one I was thinking of. It's a smaller, where is it?
1500 color mix.
Yes, that's the one. That's the one, thank you. That's the one. This one's got recipes in it. So, and then there's another one that's a smaller, very small, thin one that's about color. No. It's right next to where you just got this one. Yeah, one of those. Those are there too. But this one has color mixes, so it tells you exactly how much of each color to use to mix certain colors. And then this one is my, these two are ones that I read and have bookmarked and used for different things to help with just kind of what colors to mix and why you use certain colors and things. And all these are in my Amazon shop down in the book section, I believe. It's either in the book section or in the acrylic painting supplies section, but you should be able to find them there. So yeah, those have been very helpful.
Okay, next question.
And I do have a color mixing video too that goes over some of the stuff that I learned in those books. So not specifically stuff in there, but you know, just basic stuff, how I approach color. Go ahead.
Next question is, what program do you use to do your traceables?
I use different ones. I use Procreate, Photoshop. There's all kinds of different ones. As long as you can find a program that can create layers, that's all you need. So, because you just need to do your drawing on a separate layer from your reference so that you can turn your reference off afterwards and have just the drawing left.
Okay. And then, Do you feel that the dagger and sword brushes are worth investing in?
I like them for things like if you're doing a lot of grasses or doing, like when I did the bird's nest, it's about all I did, used them. I know some artists, though, that do a lot of detail work with them. So I know you can use them for other things. I have ended up using liner or angle brushes more than my daggers for a lot of the things like leaves and things, but you can do leaves and all kinds of stuff. I kind of played with it in one of my recent videos that I did for the challenge video. Yeah, that's good. I think just needed a few little budding leaves on it.
So aside,
And I kind of found that I was a little more comfortable with my angle brush. Long story. So, yeah.
just a side note that down below this video is the description with all the paint colors and
Links,
supplies and links to
Right.
Blick to buy things. And right now, I saw on Facebook that Blick is having a big art sale, like 20-40% off or something. So
Nice.
use Angela's link, get over there, save
Yeah.
money, support the channel.
I've got lots of painting supplies, some basic, and all the brushes and things that I use, and paints and things in my Blick list. I like the little white buds. I'm just kind of doing little, almost like their status. And I did some of this in one of the other paintings, so it works too. Yeah, kind of just something light and airy to break up all of the space. I like it. I'm liking this better. Okay, good suggestion on the vines.
The flower to the extreme right
Extreme right.
looks like it's kind of
This one?
disconnected. Is there a stem
Yeah,
there?
there's a stem to it. It's just a little bit dark. Let me lighten it up so you can see it. It's kind of, yeah, and there's it better. Okay. All right. I think I'm gonna call that good. I could fiddle with this for days, but I like it. I think I like how it ties into the other two also. So it's kind of, see if I can move back so you can see them, but especially this one's got kind of more of a limited color story, but this kind of ties them both together, I feel like. So it's kind of these two combined into one. It's got the browns that this one has and all the blues and the brighter colors in this one. So, and again, you can mix and match however you want. You do you on the colors if you have a certain kind of colors that you like to use on your flowers. I've got so many flower tutorials on YouTube. You can choose any of them. Yeah, just ask my haters. And use one of those and change it up, make it your own. I'm going to use a little bit of white on here just to really bump up that highlight right there, a little bit right there, a little bit on the tip, just to kind of make it a little bit more shiny. But yeah, I like it. I'm gonna use some of this white, maybe a little bit of the pink if I've got any. Little bit of pink, yeah. And I'm just gonna make some little stripy things in my mallow. I think this is mallow. I'm not really sure what this is. What flower this is? This blue. I had one like this a couple years ago. I got some really pretty pictures off of it. It's beautiful. It's like an electric blue color. It might be a geranium actually, but a wild geranium, like not the kind you find in the stores. Somebody leave me a comment. Tell me what these are. What these are. I'm sure somebody knows.
Are you ready?
Yep. Do it.
Super chat.
Nice. that bell. Pretty soon we're going to have a sound effect for the bell, so we don't have to actually ring it. Or we should use the kalimba that somebody sent us a couple years ago, too.
Yeah, well, there's one of those air horn things in the...
No. No.
Maybe a vuvuzela? No?
All right, here we go. Super chats.
So the first one is from Leslie, and she says, I enjoy watching you paint every week. I have learned so much from just watching.
Oh, good.
So a big thank you for your time and knowledge.
Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you very much. It's
Just adding
super
little
sweet.
bits of lighter color to these pink that I had on here, the magenta.
And then the other one is from Karen, and she has a character bowing down saying thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Karen.
The emoji looks better.
What?
The picture looks better on the screen here.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. That was so sweet.
So no air horn, okay.
What?
Whatever. No air horn, I get you. Can we do it in robot voices?
Do what in robot voices?
Announce the super chats and questions.
You should.
It was requested.
You forgot, huh?
Well, we can do it now.
I can't hear them, though, so I won't know if you're doing it or not. You can just do it, and I'll hear about it later. I feel like I want a little bit of yellow in there. You can alter the color if you decide, you're ranunculus, or, you want a different color, you want a little bit more yellow in the center or something like that. I'm just tinting it with a little bit of color. There we go. All right, I'm going to stop fiddling because I'm just messing with it now. But I love this. I hope you liked it too. Give it a thumbs up, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Come back. We're going to be painting sailboats next week. I'm really excited about that one. I realized I haven't actually painted sailboats on a sunny day. I've done lots of sunset sailboats, but I've never done it with blue sea and blue skies. So we'll do some simple clouds. I'm going to make it really simple. I may even... I've done one with palette knives, so I'm not going to use the palette knives, but we're going to keep it real simple. So it'll be kind of a good beginner lesson, I think, hopefully. So fingers crossed. We'll do that next week. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you next time. Bye.